Hey guys, welcome to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are in episode 2 of Peak Week for men's physique. And we're going to talk about just body type differences. So we're definitely narrowing the field or the scope of this particular series down to the peak week. So all of dieting and so forth is behind us. Focus just on that final week. When you have clients of different body types, and I've had some interesting conversations this week, you're really trying to strategize, Adam, because of your body type. Here's how you can be the most competitive. Here's how we have to do this. And it's either trying to emphasize or de-emphasize fullness and muscularity, or whatever it takes, knowing that these are the division criteria, these are the people you're probably going to be up against. But more importantly, this is how we can make you look your best. So let's just kind of go through that spectrum, ectomorph through mesomorph into endomorph. When you've got a men's physique competitor heading into peak week, what are the differences that you may throw at them that could be unique to just them instead of, everybody in your stable of competitors?
Yeah, I mean, with an ectomorph, we're going to really, and I have primarily, I would say, mostly ectomorphic men's physique competitors. So, a lot of them are really trying to hit a pretty high carb saturation by the time they hit the stage. And, we're really erring on the side of fullness. Sometimes my guys are so tight that if they do even in fact spill just a little bit, I'm okay with that, because I know by morning time that's going to be gone likely, and we can play our show day foods pretty accordingly to that. So I would say, in a nutshell, a lot of my people fall into that category. But on a few occasions, I have gotten those people who are right in the middle, which I love working with that the best, because they're not so genetically gifted in terms of body fat that they can get lean enough and have the muscle size. So they kind of have the best of both worlds, really dynamic physiques. And those are usually the people that compete very well at the pro level. So, having enough size, but also, enough going on in the genetic component that you can actually get lean enough to be on stage. I wouldn't say I've had many endomorphs do very well in this division. However, I don't know if I've ever had an endomorph who has, really stuck it out for a long enough time period that they have dieted long enough to be lean enough. And with someone like an endo, it's going to probably take years to actually become lean enough. And the past 2 endomorphs I've had, they were definitely big enough for stage. We just needed to be tighter and enough for them to get second or third at regional contests. We just need more years of transforming that metabolic rate a little bit to get them that extra edge of conditioning that they need.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. It's just a process of knowing your body, knowing what you have to do. That's what this episode's all about, is the body type. And it reminds me of something I wrote years and years and years ago. I did a series that ended up being incredibly useful for my entire career now, called the peaking axis, and looking at just an XY axis and the variables of what you described. We have to try and get an ectomorph extremely full glycogen saturation. So there's that fullness type component. But during peak week, there's also, of course, making sure you don't spill over, making sure you stay tight. So there's the fullness and the tightness. And those 2 variables on an XY axis, you're trying to get them to converge perfectly when you want on contest day. So you've got maximum tightness and maximum fullness, even though to a large degree they're completely dichotomous. And so there are different ways to manipulate that. You can do something like a rapid, front load, back load, those kind of things. And so you've got these axes, lines going in extreme positions, trying to, and even in different directions to converge back where you want. Or you can do something where you're pointing them in the right direction so that they're going to converge when you want, but they can look differently. Like you said, for an ectomorph, it may be a much, much sharper angle for that fullness, knowing that there's just little chance of erring on tightness. For your endomorphs, it may be much more linear, and fullness, there's just not much movement on that particular variable because you can't risk the spillover. So you're really angling down, more sharply for the tightness. So yeah, these are things we're going to talk about in the next episode, guys. So stay tuned, but just understand that for your different body types, your peak week approach may have to be dramatically different, and just making sure that you can nail, that actual axis conversion point. So we will see you next time.